Yeah, well, it's definitely not a rumor. I know for sure that it's put out there that and I was really excited when that announcement came out because I'm just a huge fan of that franchise. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King. I've worked on a project of his before, and I just love I love Andy and I love his producing partner Barbara. I think they're really brilliant and they understand the material,
Yep.
and it's been fun. She staying?
I'd have to ask for your transfer.
I'd be working for the Bureau.
You were rejected by the Bureau. It was your psycho that did you in. Aggressive, addictive, antisocial. This is the profile of people we arrest, not hire. I think you got talent. I need you to use it as fuel to bring me something new now.
Jovan, what's going on?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see, man. Last time I saw you in person was 7 years ago in Chicago for the press tour for Fences. You and Steven.
Wow.
You've grown. You've matured.
I'm trying. I try my best.
There you go. So good to see you and talk
Likewise.
to you. That's cool. How's everything?
Everything's great, man. I have no complaints. I'm actually getting ready to go to Toronto to work on something else. So it's good to be working on things that I'm excited about. And again, even like getting a chance to talk about this movie is fun. We worked really hard on it, so I couldn't be happier, man. I'm chilling.
There you go. Are you in LA currently?
I'm in LA right now. Yes.
Enjoy the weather before.
Man, it's been so fickle, man. We've gotten some super breezy, cold, rainy days, and then we get a bit of sunlight, and everybody goes crazy like we haven't had it in decades. It's funny to see. It's funny to see Angelinos out here reacting to the.
I've been hearing
weather.
all about it too. I mean, I was in
Yeah.
LA a few weeks ago, so it was kind of unusual. But so we went from on Saturday from 80 degrees to today in the 40s. So we dropped 40 degrees in 2 days.
No, thank you. Come on, man. I'm trying to keep my immunity system in check and all that. Like immune system.
There you go.
Come on.
Man, well, last time I saw you on screen, you were playing a trumpet. Now you're shooting up people. Big change too, there. So you went two different realms right there from one film to another.
I'm a man with many hobbies, as they say.
Yeah, but you do work for Damien's, it seems like. On a previous project, this is like maybe written into your deal. You only got Damien's that are writing scripts for you.
Absolutely. My agents know me better than anyone else. That was a prerequisite.
There you go. I'm curious here when you do a movie like this. I'm a fan of genres like this because it's like I tend to, as a viewer, you follow like who done it sort of thing. Do you, when you enter you get the script, do you kind of follow it like, oh, who done it? Or even when you watch a movie like that, do you kind of follow and try to figure out as you go? Because, with a movie like this, there's so many clues being left and, you're getting diverted constantly. It's always like an edge of your seat sort of thing.
I think those are the best kind of films, and I think even like the kind of docuseries that they have with all everyone's obsession with the criminal cold cases and all. I think that those always have the ingredients of a good whodunit, as you say, because it does get the brain thinking. And if you're lucky enough to be watching it or experiencing it with a bunch of people, it's fun to talk about it and kind of see who figures things out sooner. It's always been fun. And even when reading a brilliant script like this and knowing that I'm getting to work with Damien, I'm a huge fan of, it was really cool to kind of turn each page and kind of be sitting with Eleanor in the script as she's putting the pieces together.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. You're watching it. Do you like as an actor be like, hey, could I do this job that Mackenzie does? Like, did you put yourself in that headspace? Like, I don't know if I could last a day on this gig.
You know what? One of my really really close friends, my best friend, I've known him since we were like 11 or 12. He's actually an FBI agent.
Really?
And so I was really lucky in that way that I was able to confide in him on a day-to-day basis and really get to pick his brain. And he enjoyed it because it was cool for him to be able to tell his kids that the character that I played was based off of him, which is not true, but
of course he's going to take credit.
As he should, because there's a lot of things that I think people can try to put into a role like this. I think when you see cops and agents and spies and all these people of authority in different things, different projects, sometimes they can be really boring, because I think that some of the performance might just get covered up with the job itself. Like if you see who is this Jack McKenzie, you'd be like, well, he's an FBI agent. It's like, well, that's what he does, but who is he? Where does he come from? What is like his background? What was his life like before that? And so it was really cool to take a lot of my friends' personal life that I knew very well or know very well, and kind of use that as kind of a guiding light for my personality and the way that I carry myself with the badge.
Man, your friend circle is interesting. FBI, you're in acting. I don't know what you have, like a mentor is another friend of yours.
Most of my friends are in the military or law enforcement. I have a couple like high ranked officers in the Navy for it's that's I didn't plan that. It's just my friends have always been very ambitious, and you know, I think that that's always helped me and motivated me to keep going and doing interesting things too.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. You know, to have people like that in your life, you know, you don't come across every day having, you know, high level individuals. So you talk about determination and all that in their lives, man, you can play it on screen, but it's different for them to be living that on a
Oh yeah, man. And he's been through a lot. My FBI buddy, he's been through a lot, and some of the stories that he's told me about, that he's allowed to tell me about some of the work that he's done. I don't know if I have the mettle for what they go through every day, because he has to end up purging all of that each day and coming home because he has kids. You know, he has 3 girls, and so he has to come home and be daddy after that. So he's one of the hardest working men I know, man. Really proud of him.
Yeah, that's wild. And you know, I what I liked about this film too, like you see Eleanor's character there, you know, Shailene playing her. Like I like the depth of these characters. They're all like kind of flawed people with like a backstory, like a relatable sort of thing, that they don't come from, you know, they come from different struggles, and that it's not just like sometimes you see like you know, these FBI agents and whatnot, like they're superheroes right away in a film, and you don't know that they have a human element to them. I felt this movie was really humanizing in a lot of different characters and aspects of them, and I like that about this script.
Yeah, and that's what makes these kind of stories interesting, man. I think that, you know, if everybody's always on the same accord, and they have similar beliefs, and everybody's kind of like agreeable with each other, it can be boring. And I think even without spoiling it for people who haven't seen it, the kind of conversations that Shailene's character has with my character and Ben's character is like, we might be on the same mission and we might have the same kind of end goal in mind, but I think everybody has their different ways of investigating and doing things and coming up with their own conclusions. And it might not always align with the other people that you're working with. And with that, obviously comes conflict. And that's what makes scenes interesting, when people have to talk about it. So I really like the way Damien wrote these characters, as you said, as flawed people, and just coming from different backgrounds, because when they are forced to kind of really try to be on the same accord to get the person that they're looking for, they have to learn to use each other's strengths and weaknesses as a whole unit.
You know, it's wild. You watch a film like this, it hits you differently these days, I feel like, because like we are unfortunately subjected to a lot of these gun shootings and these sort of things. And you know, I imagine you watched this probably 30 years ago. It's a different feel for a movie like this. And now it's like, whoa, we've seen and heard of this. This is hits you twice as hard. Even making a film like that, do you kind of think about that sort of aspect of it, how real it might be to some people too? And, you know, unfortunately, how our society's changed now to this becoming sort of a unfortunate regular thing.
Of course, you want to make sure that you're taking the time to respect the circumstances of what you're portraying on film, and I think Damien and the producers are very mindful of that. But at the same time, it's one of those things where we can't shy away from making films like this and showing scenes of those kinds, because art it's stemmed from life and stemmed from reality. You know, this isn't a fictional thing that we're putting on. I mean, it's a fictional story, but it's the exact event that's happening, like you said, is happening in front of our faces in real life. So I think it's important for people to watch it and know that that we are in those times, and that it's just it's something that our world leaders are trying to get a grip on, or our country's leaders are trying to get a grip on. And I think it's important to also show law enforcement that are formidable and that are well trained in doing their due diligence and leaving no stone unturned, and kind of really making sure that they're doing the work, the best investigative work, to keep everyone safe. I think that's what Damien is also trying to show in these 3 main characters who are on the hunt.
That you mentioned too earlier that, you know, our fascination society with the crime docs, like that's probably the most consumed thing on streaming and television. It's like
gotta be.
people love it. Are you into that sort of? Did you fall into the trap of just like being fascinated by that? Like I've never imagined like we'd be so fascinated by like serial killers and murderers and all these sort of things. It's a whole different thing about how society is like enthralled by hearing these stories and what's being, you know, put out there for us to watch too.
Yeah, man. I think it's because people want to know what kind of personality traits these individuals have that give them it's not like a super gifted ability, but give them the freedom to like do these horrible things and kind of do it without conscience. I think it's a character study, and it's almost like everyone wants to become their own, you know, behavioral psychologist or whatever, just to kind of study these type of people. And I'm guilty of it. I've watched every freaking crime doc on Netflix. I feel like the Night Stalker, the John Wayne Gacy's, you know, the I Killed My Husband from 30 years, you know, all the crazy titles that they have on there. But I've watched a lot of them just because you want to understand how people tick, and it's interesting to see where they came from, how their childhood was, and what their relationships were like, and things like that. It's interesting.
Yeah, all stems from something, you know, it doesn't just happen overnight. That's the sort of thing too. And so it's a message too, and a warning too, you know, to pay attention to signs early on, you know, of
Absolutely.
things to later on potentially prevent these things. Did you have as much fun on Babylon acting as it was watching it? I mean, it just seemed like an absolute party and blast, you know, as a viewer. What was the set like for that?
It was crazy every day. I think there was just so much going on, and of course that's to be expected because it's such a epic film.
Yeah.
Just the scale of it and what we were trying to accomplish, and also just having as many brilliant artists on the on the production that Damien Chazelle was able to bring in, and I had a lot of fun because I'm a fan of Damien's, both Damien's, and I'm a fan of everybody that I worked with on Babylon. You know, I'm a lover of movies, so getting a chance to be a part of this huge spectacle with so many like big players and everyone kind of working at their highest and best level, I was excited and I had a blast. It was difficult, and you know, trying to make something good and making it thorough and sincere and loud and vibrant is hard work. So it's not like we show up every day and it's just like, yeah, man, it was a breeze. We're in there sweating and we're going for it. And I think that ultimately, you know, I'm proud of the project, and I know Damien's proud of it. And it was really fun to get to see it for that first time. It just really like it hits, and as soon as it goes, it just doesn't stop. And so I'm really proud and honored to be a part of that, man.
Yeah, it was a hell of a theatrical experience watching that on a big screen. You know, it was like, it was long, so I brought snacks with me, you know, but it's one of those. I was disappointed it didn't get nominated, but it was just a heck of an experience, whoever watched, especially in a movie theater.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's like, you know, when it comes to nominations and stuff, I think it's much better for people to remember that like there's so many brilliant films that come out every year, and that there's always going to be some films and some actors and some, you know, different categories where people don't get nominated because there's just so many like high profile films and so many beautiful projects out there every year. Like everybody can't get in, so that allows you, I think, to be at peace with it and just be proud of the project that you did and hope that it touched people for sure.
Yeah, no question. You know, like a lot of, including myself, had a blast watching it. So it's a great thing to be part of. You know, looking back for sure.
100%.
Rumors are that you might be turning up in Derry, and you can share on these rumors because talk about psycho killers. I mean, there's a clown on the loose that's about to turn up. So
yeah, well, it's definitely not a rumor. I know for sure that it's put out there that and I was really excited when that announcement came out because I'm just a huge fan of that franchise. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King. I've worked on a project of his before, and I just love Andy, and I love his producing partner Barbara. I think they're really brilliant and they understand the material. And it's been fun, you know, once the press releases came out and early casting, you could see a lot of the comments from fans and, you know, the kind of the people that are huge followers of it and such. You can kind of taste their impatience because they're just like, I don't understand what this plot is with these castmates and la la la. And I'm like, you guys, if you know that you got a great product before, which it shows, the movies did fantastic. It's the same creative team. They understand the story. You got to trust that they're doing it justice. You just got to wait. You just got to wait.
Series. it's a series too. So there's a lot of the story that can be told. Yeah,
exactly. And it has to build. You got to let it build. You just got to relax. And I obviously I try not to get into the comments, but I read them once in a while. And I'm like, goodness, God, relax. It's gonna be fine. And you're gonna just chill. Yeah, and
people are crazy about their IP. Certain things, they're just like too into it. Like the casting, especially like superhero stuff. Like they just don't sleep too much.
And the crazy thing about that is a lot of the fandom and the responses to the earlier announcements about the show is that some of the people, like, it's very clear that they did not read the book, because they're like, so I don't see how this story can relate with this dynamic, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, you should read the book, because the book is a big one, and it explains a lot about that town. So just trust the process, man. That's all.
I'm trusting it. I'm being patient and waiting to see the good production. When it's in good hands, it's gonna turn out good.
Exactly, man.
There you go. And finally, want to wrap by asking, man, like, I've been a longtime fan of yours. I loved seeing your journey on screen. Met you when you were kind of starting out with Fences. I mean, that's a hell of a way to start out with Denzel in a film like that. But it's been a cool journey. But what do you like to do for fun? Any hobbies, interests you have outside of acting work?
Yeah, man, I'm a big motorcycle enthusiast. I've been riding for about a decade now. Yeah, I've been riding for a really long time. I'm a normal bro. I like playing PlayStation with my friends. Oh no, I didn't lose you, did I?
No, you're good.
I think my batteries were that's fine. Yeah, so I'm a big gamer. Like I play NHL and NBA 2K with my buddies.
There you go.
A lot of my friends are military, so they're overseas. They're in different cities and countries, and so we all that's how we keep in touch. And so everybody has to get their time when they come home, talk to their wives and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, I got an hour. So I like to keep myself zen, and I work out a lot just for, physical and mental strength.
There you go. All fun and active, a little bit of everything. You got the adrenaline stuff, you got the workout, and you got the games. You know what I mean? You cover all the bases.
I try to, man. There's only 24 hours in a day. I try to make the best of it.
And quick, are you like a Harley motorcycle guy, or more of like?
I do. I'm in the Harleys, man. I ride the big boys. I ride the big boys.
There you go. That's a club right there. That's a real group right there.
Man.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're part of the movement. Well, Jovan, happy to see you doing well, man. Another great project that you attach yourself. You just know how to pick them well, and always an interesting role. Like I said, totally different from when I seen you last, and definitely excited for what's coming up. So keep on doing a good work, and hopefully get to connect again, not 7 years later.
I have no doubts, man. I'm really excited about it too, and I appreciate you, man.
Hey, absolutely. I'll talk to you soon then. Take care.
Alrighty, sounds good. Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.